I want to state what the county government of Mombasa has done. When we got into office, and actually this decision was done when I was doing my campaigns, I realized that there's a number of children who are actually not going to school, especially ECD, because of the fact that a parent needs to make a decision, do I take my child to school or do I feed my child? So amongst the first year into office, we came up with a very deliberate decision of saying that every child who goes to school needs to be able to be fed with no charge whatsoever to the families. And a decision that produced very, very positive impact. We saw a huge leap in student registration. Then came the next decision. For a very long time, what was happening was the ECDs would do what they do sometimes, where they hire teachers as BMU teachers. And then I made another deliberate decision and I said no more hiring of BMU teachers, because every school was paying people in different ways. And sometimes you had some schools, because they were coming from a catchment area that was not very, very financially lucrative. Some areas ended up having one problem where when schools are closed, the schools do not have enough money to be able to pay those teachers. So a decision was made and we absorbed each and every one of those teachers onto the county payroll, so that again we saw an increase in what it is that we were doing. Then the third decision that we also decided to do was, even if it's 500 shillings or if it's 1,000 shillings, what if we actually tell the parents education is going to be totally free? And again, we removed any charges that are meant to be paid to any ECD school. And what we ended up doing, which is what we are doing till today, is paying capitation per child to the school. It's something that saw an increase again in the number of students that was going to our schools. Then we didn't stop there. What we did do is I tasked my team and I said, what other expense is there for the parents? And they told me, Governor, books. And I said, what if we take over printing and supplying of those books as well to schools? Which we did. And today a child can be able to go into our ECDs, walk in, get registered, and you do not need to pay for fees, you do not need to buy books, you do not need to carry anything for your child, and everything. And the other thing that I'm in the process of doing currently, Mombasa is very hot. Each and every one of you has a bottle of water. Last year, we gave out a contract to some people to actually provide not just water, but purified water in our schools. I do not know if I'll be able to finish all the schools by 2027. Pray for me. But I know that a number of schools by the year 2027 will not just have access to water, but will have water that is purified, portable water, water that a child can be able to now say that they're going to school, they're not going to be learning when they're hungry, they're not going to be learning when they're thirsty, and we're not going to have a situation whereby schools cannot be able, because we do not have water that is portable for a child, especially our youngsters. The plan is to eventually, Mombasa was built in such a way that our ECDs are next to a primary school and next to the secondary schools as well. So the plan is to actually integrate the water system so that one can be able to complement the other. Eventually you have a whole ecosystem of children who are from ECD all the way to secondary school who will be able to have access to this water. And very soon we are starting to launch the first lot that we were able to give out to the contractor. Now, I also asked my team, what is the other challenge that is there? And they said, Governor, our schools are not children friendly. So the other decision that we decided to do is every school that is going to be built henceforth has to be child friendly, which is something that we're doing. Coincidentally, one of the schools that I hope it is not going to be extremely emotional for me as an individual and for many others, but one of the schools that we will be opening very soon, and it's ready for us to be able to open, a child-friendly school and a modern school. The groundbreaking ceremony was actually done by my former party leader, Raila Amolo Odinga. And that school is in Jomvu area of Mombasa, and we intend to be able to open that school to become a model, and where possible also convert other existing schools to become child-friendly schools, so that a child can be able to now have a reason as to why they need to be able to go into school.
To get more videos of Abu Shuraim, don't forget to subscribe, like and share. May Allah guide and bless the person who shares the videos.